from the studios of the Bakersfield, California, it's time to open up with real people, real talk about real stuff. And now, a special welcome to our friends throughout California, across the nation, and around the world to this week's edition of Open Up.
I love that introductory voice. That's John Thompson from Australia, raising Brumby horses right here in Bakersfield.
Yes, good morning, Don, and good morning to all of you. This is Open Up, and I'm Tina Miller.
And I'm Don Clark, and we're your favorite pair on the air. Glad to be with you. And
yes.
Overcast day here in Bakersfield. Hope it's beautiful wherever you are. So
yes, we certainly do. We want to thank our dear friends at Nature's Fruit Market and Juice Bar. Not only do they provide healthy drinks and food for our bodies, but they are very caring too. And so I'm drinking a green machine this morning. It doesn't look green, but it has... I'm told it's the most popular drink there.
Really?
Don's drinking his Alibaba.
Boy, it has a bite.
And also, I brought a little treat that Don had already. It's called a coconut macaroon.
And I'm telling you, I had one, and you need to go to confession after you have one of these. I mean, it is just...
Yes.
I'm going to move this globe a little bit. So
okay, Wendy does not make these all the time. Wendy Noss, one of the owners at Nature's Fruit Market. But when she does, these things fly off the shelf, and I'm one of the ones who causes them to fly. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you all for viewing. Want to say hello to Angel, who's watching. He's with Pacific Tire here in Bakersfield. So thank you very much for being a new viewer.
You bet. You bet. We've got viewers in 19 countries. We want to say hi to you out there, and thanks for joining us.
Yes.
The second half of this show, we're bringing on our newest team member, Arlena Waller, who is really the poster girl for fabulosity, and we're going to be talking about she power, and so that is going to be great. But
yes,
we're starting off our show today with our first two segments of a very serious topic, something that we think is a great injustice that is going on in our state, and something that's very disillusioning about our legal system. But imagine if you were a prominent person and suddenly you are accused of a terrible crime, and the major proof that is brought forward to convict you of that crime is a tape recording. But along the way, you find that tape, and using world-class experts that you've paid for and brought in to study this tape, very hard to detect fraud in tape recordings with today's technology. But these experts have detected that this tape has been tampered with, it's been changed, they can show exactly where it's been changed in order to take a tape recording that should have proved innocence and was manipulated to prove guilt. And now this man is sitting in prison for the last 10 years and is simply asking for the right to bring forward this new proof, and no court, including the California Supreme Court, will allow this new evidence to be brought forward. I mean, we're talking Shawshank Redemption when, Dufresne finds out that there is evidence that will prove his innocence. He brings it to the warden, and the warden just absolutely shuts him down and will not allow him to bring that evidence forward. Wow. That's what I think we're seeing, and we're going to be talking right now with a reporter who has dug into this case. She works with the
Beverly
Hills Courier as a reporter and has done an excellent 3-part series on this case. Her name is Laura Coleman, and I hope, Laura, are you on the phone?
I am.
Very good.
Yes.
Welcome to Open Up, and we're so glad you've made yourself available to us for this program and to tell the people of California, the people watching this program, about this case. So why don't we start? How did this case first come to your attention, and what drew your interest into diving into this particular report?
Sure. Well, my publisher, Marcia Hobbs, her neighbor is Jared Diamond, and it kind of came to her. Jared Diamond was the roommate of French Anderson when they were both seniors at Harvard. They'd known each other since they were freshmen there. And they were speaking one night, and Marcia brought me over, and the three of us had a conversation. And Jared really gave me quite an overview of what was going on, and also a great insight into French's personality. He'd known him, since they were freshmen in college, and French is now 78. And so I met with Kathy Anderson, which is French's wife. They've been married for 53 years now. They met when they were students at Oxford, so they've been together for kind of a long time love story. And after that, I was brought on. I was very interested in the story, and so I spoke with French. I spoke with myriad people. I read through the transcripts from the case files. Did a lot of research on this, and at the very least, it seems that the justice system completely failed this man.
And Laura, this was your first time hearing about the French Anderson case.
I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of it.
Okay.
And it was just it was kind of a fascinating case, and particularly because of who he is. I mean, this is
Right.
this.
Yeah, Laura, let's pause right here and bring our viewers up to speed. Who is William French Anderson? Who is this man?
So he is the man who pioneered gene therapy, and he's the individual who is the first doctor who's actually successfully performed a gene therapy procedure. And he did so on a 4-year-old individual in I think it was 1990, and she would have died up until then. And today she's married, she's alive, she's well. And that really launched the whole possibility that gene therapy could actually be very effective. And I mean, today, you know, we're looking at a future of, well, I'd like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby, or I'd like, you know, my child to be a little calmer. And that avenue, that sort of designer baby avenue, is one thing that is an absolute reality. What, of course, he was trying to do is to save people's lives. And that's sort of what has motivated him. What's really interesting about this case, in terms of the science, is that at the time that French was arrested, he was pioneering an application of an anti-irradiation drug. It was through IL-12, and what he was trying to do was he was trying to cure cancer. He was trying to find a way that by applying this one drug in such a way, you could continue to radiate the cells until the cancer died, and in a sense cure cancer. Because then it would, by giving this drug, you could have the cells heal themselves, so you could just pummel them with radiation and they would then heal. Now, whereas he saw a way to cure cancer, someone with a more, I don't know, global-minded, strategic, government-type brain would see a potential application in that realm, which is exactly what the American government has seen, and it appears that the Chinese government has seen as well. And this is where sort of the case actually takes on a whole other elements. There right now, there's a preliminary investigation. Kathy Anderson just told me it's now underway on the FBI level into an espionage allegation of a woman who was French's second in command at the gene therapy laboratory that he headed at USC, and she is actually the mother of a young girl, or who was young at the time, that French is accused to have molested, and he was convicted for allegedly molesting this young girl. And so it's a very strange connection there. And you'd mentioned in your opening that one of the reasons that he was convicted was on a sort of an altered recording.
Kind of a sting operation.
It was a sting operation that the police wired this young woman, and led him, and they had a meeting outside I believe it was the South Pasadena Library. And the recording that the jury heard basically has the young girl saying, "I'm sorry," or "Why did you molest me?" And it has French replying, "I'm sorry." Now, what French contended was that recording was altered, was doctored, and subsequent to his incarceration, there were experts, renowned experts. One man, his name is Curtis Crowe. He's worked with the CIA, the FBI, the DEA. I mean, very well known, and multiple scientific analysts have looked at examined the recording and have all come to the conclusion that in fact it was altered. And to sort of add a little insult to injury, during the case, French told his trial attorney, Barry Tarlow, that it was doctored. That was not what he was saying. He was apologizing to her for pushing her so hard academically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his attorney said, "No, we are not going to even offer that option to the jury to let them know that you believe that this has been tampered with." And French said that his attorney subsequently said, "If you even bring that up, I am leaving this case."
It's
So
very
he
strange,
didn't.
isn't it? Some of his most exculpatory information, and his own attorney won't allow it to be brought forward. Why?
It's very strange. I don't honestly have the answer for that. But there are so many strange elements in this case. I mean, if you read through the transcripts, yes, there are elements that are very troubling, but it does come down to the fact that, you know, this is really based on one person. This is, this conviction came about because of this recording, which turns out to have been tampered with. And it's troubling. I mean, he's been incarcerated for over 8 years now. He got a 14-year sentence.
Okay.
And
Laura,
sorry?
do we want to go to a break right
Laura,
now?
we're going to come right back. We're going to break,
Okay.
and folks, when we come back, we're going to hear more on this amazing case, this most troubling case here in California, where our legal system just seems to have failed every step of the way to try to give this man just an honest chance to present new evidence that he is an innocent man falsely and wrongly imprisoned. We'll be right back.